happens.
Yay.
Normally there's like somebody that's still on their way.
I was scrambling, but I'm here.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. We're back with another sprint, and myself and Christy and Ingrid and Jade are actually all going to be picking up Addie LaRue, and Sean is the only one that's not, unless he wants to.
I'm prepared.
But yeah, Sean was funny because he's like, "Am I allowed in this sprint?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So we just happened to be all reading it. This will be the first time I've ever picked it up. I've meant to pick it up for forever. And then Christy, it's on your standalone TBR for this year, right?
Yes. It's been on my TBR since she announced it.
And then Jade, have you tried reading it before?
I have not. I am a V.E. Schwab fan for the most part. Or if you can hear my dogs barking. So it has also been on my TBR since I heard about it, but I have not read it yet.
Addie LaRue to answer.
That's such a pretty addition.
Pretty.
It has the ribbon. I don't have to worry about.
I'm especially interested because I think I meant to double check this, but I think V.E. Schwab said this is like one of her oldest stories. Like she started writing it a long time ago and had to like backburner it for a while or something. Like I feel like it's an idea she had for a while. So
yeah,
what it is.
It was like one of her, like, this is the kind of story that she always wanted to write, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I was surprised like how fast she put it out actually. Cause like when she talked about this idea, it was kind of like, just like an idea. And then I feel like it came out just like a couple years later. I was like, oh my God, like so fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I really don't know that much about it, like what the plot is. And I tried not to like really watch any videos about it. So I'm going in fairly blind.
So does this comment make sense to you why this is funny?
Yes, it does to me.
I keep forgetting that book exists. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Do you know why that's ironic?
Oh, really?
Okay.
Wow,
okay, so you really don't know anything.
I don't know anything about it.
And then Ingrid hasn't had a chance to mention. So you have started it before in the past.
I have started it, and I think I was well, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. Obviously, Jade has no idea what the book is about. But I was expecting something different. But I think if I go into it with like the right expectations, then I will fare better.
I saw a fair amount of people. I'm curious if this is what happened with you that thought it was going to be a romance.
No, I think
Now Jade knows it's not a romance.
Oh no! Now it's ruined.
Well, you know what? I don't know. Okay, because maybe I didn't get to that part, but I thought it was gonna be more. I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it after.
Yeah. Addie doesn't sound fantasy enough for me. That's fair. It doesn't. Yeah, I think this is a book where I think a lot of people discovered V.E. Schwab actually through Addie LaRue for people that don't typically read fantasy, because this one kind of has that crossover appeal. And it is really interesting to look at people who read Shades of Magic after Addie LaRue and they're like, this is nothing like Addie LaRue, and they're upset by that fact. But I actually kind of like that. I think she always has a certain tone in her books, that she has a certain voice that you're like, oh, this is V.E. Schwab, but her books themselves, they don't feel like the same, and the characters don't feel the same. So I like that about her writing.
Yeah, I feel like she has kind of a distinct voice somehow. That sounds very English class, but you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean, because I always say there's like almost like a wickedness, like a morbid, there's something morbid about, there's always like a weird darkness to her stories, I feel. Hello. Doggy and
Doggy.
Dog-eared pages, Maggie. That's her. She just started her new channel. So.
Oh, have fun! Yay, that's exciting. Sean is the only one not reading Addie LaRue. So Sean, do you want to share what you're picking up?
Yes, presently. I'm
it's
reading
a weird book, isn't it?
It's not weird. It's not weird. It's Directorate S, The CIA and America's Secret Wars in Afghanistan and Pakistan by Steve Call.
Okay.
He also wrote
a follow-up to Ghost Wars. which won the Pulitzer Prize, which I read years ago. It's very good.
Hmm.
But Ghost Wars is like from like 1980 up to like September 10th, 2001. This is September 11th, 2001.
Ah.
So kind of not the greatest beginning. I was like, oh, kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But the whole
I
thing's
can
kind of a
imagine.
bummer. So there's not like
Yeah, that's true.
whole thing's a bummer.
Yeah. Did Elle tell
Hopefully
you that I'm attempting to read Perdido Street Station?
I've heard, and are you still reading the phenomenal Perdido Street Station?
Like, at
One
what
at a
point does it
time?
become phenomenal? I'm like 25% in. I haven't
Hey.
officially given up.
You gotta keep going.
I will
Has
say
it gone horror-ish yet?
No, I wouldn't say so.
It'll get there.
I
It's very
remember for
Kafka, and I'm not sure I like that.
for a while, I remember really vividly, we were walking Luna because we often talk about the books we're reading. We talk about them to each other while we're walking the dog. And I remember really vividly, I can tell you like where in the neighborhood we were when Sean was like, I don't know about this book. I just feel, and he was not into it for a long time. And then there was just kind of, he started to like it more. And then by the end, he loved it.
The end is so good.
Is it? Okay.
So good.
We'll keep chugging along. Christy needs to start it too.
Well, and it was funny.
Uh,
You mentioned like
Yeah.
the bug people thing, but you also like, and I haven't read it yet, but the Adrian Tchaikovsky one.
I
but
love
that's
that
not, like,
book, Children of
as
Time.
Oh, I have that one.
There's not like
Is it the one, the spider one?
cross-species in like sex stuff. I don't know.
Well, aren't the males just
So,
like
yeah,
still
the-
just bugs?
Yeah,
and
the,
then like
the males are just giant bugs that like latch
Oh,
onto their
I don't think I
head.
realized that.
Yeah,
So
so
they
only-
they make art out of their spit.
that's true. They do that. That's correct.
I mean,
Oh yeah, the females are the ones that have the bug head and human bodies and can
Mhm.
actually talk. The males are just like giant, weird, gross bugs.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
It kind of grossed me out a little bit, and it's just kind of boring so far. But I think we're starting to get into a little bit of politics, and there was this alien that had a really interesting drug experience. That's the part I'm at, Sean. Like, that just happened, and so I'm curious to see where that goes.
I don't remember a drug experience.
you
Like-
read so many of
I
them
know.
in the book that you read.
This like slug gets high, but he's also like
Oh.
an empath and like made people
Oh,
around him
yeah.
high.
No, that's kind of a big deal. Yeah. That's kind of a
that's
big
where
deal.
I'm at.
Oh
And
yeah,
like
you're-
that was the first thing that I was like, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll see where this goes.
yeah.
not gonna
Yeah, no,
lie, not gonna
it's
lie,
gonna-
you guys are kind of selling this book for me right now.
It's gonna ramp up real quick actually. if
From
that's where
there,
we're at.
okay, that gives me hope. I'll give it a few more days.
Christy, at some point we'll have to buddy read it because I've told Sean I will read that at some point. Ingrid, do you want
Okay.
to join?
Sure.
I wonder if it'll turn into like one of those buddy reads that we just all DNF,
Oh,
or it ends
no.
up being like a
So-
hate read. I don't know.
So I do always, I don't have to say this, but I will say this. This book is the term Deus Ex Machina.
Machina, yeah.
Okay,
Ah,
it does it twice. Pretty bad.
I don't
Whereas
know
like
what that means.
like
But that's okay. You don't have to say it. I'll look it up later.
it's
Or maybe I won't because I should stay.
I even forgive it that though. Like the ending is so good that I'm
It's
like, I'll
not-
forgive you that.
The concept isn't a spoiler. It's just basically like something really convenient happens, essentially.
But twice.
Yeah, City of Nightmares is great. I loved it, and it is.
I liked it too.
I've told Sean I've read excerpts from that book to him. I think he would enjoy it. It's definitely not as adult, of course, because City of Nightmares is YA, so it's not quite like Perdido Street. But from what I've heard of Perdido Street, I'm like, kind of seems like it could be stepping stone to that.
Jay, do you like the first person perspective?
That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, like I guess what I'm saying is like the kind of the diary entries. I like that more than I think the normal
Maybe
part.
I haven't gotten to the diary entries.
I think it's like the prologue.
Oh, then I
And
just
then
don't
I think
remember.
I think it's not very often. It might be before like each
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, I
Right.
haven't really noticed. I am in like part 3 or anyways. Yeah. So I'm also technically, that's the only thing I've picked up in January. So I haven't finished any books in January. Oh well. So I'm excited to try something a little bit different because that one was not quite holding my attention.
I just want to mention that the sequel to City of Nightmares was indeed bonkers. There's like a dinosaur that goes on a rampage through a city. So I feel like that's a good way to mention what that book is like. Finished it last night.
And they
Yeah.
fight with napkins.
Yep. There's like these
Like they
destructive-
use napkins as weapons, or they fight the napkins.
No, well, the napkins like latch on and then just start like killing you, basically. So at one point they have like
They
a
are-
napkin launcher. It's almost like a t-shirt launcher at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
basketball games.
But they very much are napkins.
Yeah, but they're almost like they're cursed. The turtle pond was hilarious. I laughed out loud. I can't say the part, but the part at the end with the turtle where they're like, "Do you think they'll be happy?"
I remember that. That was a great scene.
I did laugh out loud. I was dog sitting my mom's dog while listening to that, and I was like doing a puzzle, and I just started laughing at that moment. So, Ingrid, what have you been reading this year?
I just finished Defiant. I told you about that one, the 4th book in the Skyward series, and it was really good. I also like this month I actually read a lot of books. I finished 14 books. I read Astrophysics. I know. Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. Have you guys read that? It's like a really short, like nonfiction about astrophysics, and I have become obsessed. I told my husband I should have never become a nurse. I should have been an astrophysicist. I'm like obsessed with the whole thing. It's so interesting. And then I also picked up another one of his books, but I haven't finished that one yet.
I
It's
wanna
called
read that.
To Infinity and Beyond. It's also nonfiction, but basically it's about like how we, it goes from Earth all the way to the other planets. Super interesting. If you
These
guys
sound
like
like
that kind of
Ever
stuff.
expanding.
These sound like things Sean would really. I mean, the other one sounded really interesting to me too. So maybe we'll have to buddy read it sometime and then
Yeah.
chat with you about it.
It's really short too. It's like he explains things really well because like astrophysics is like super difficult, like quantum physics and all that stuff. If you don't know any of it, like he
Sean's
explains
really,
it really, really well.
he's really into quantum computers, right? Like not literally, but he likes to read about them. He doesn't know.
I don't know anything.
Yeah,
It's
but he's
more just
always
like,
fascinated.
Oh, I don't know anything either, but I'm learning.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Right. Yeah, right.
I think that things like that are just they almost feel like magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And like all the theoretical stuff too, it's all these like it's not true until someone proves it, right? It's super interesting.
Like,
Space
what
is-
even is string theory? I don't know. It's magic.
I have no idea.
Isn't it like
What's the
that-
three body problem?
tiny vibrating
We're just
thing.
asking questions that don't have answers.
Oh,
Ooh,
Oh,
that just
yes,
got
we
released
are. Pray for
yesterday,
us, please.
right?
It did.
nice.
heard
I saw a clip of him talking about how even if aliens were just like barely smarter than us, the difference would be like us to apes, because apes are apparently the intelligence level of a lot of our toddlers. So to an alien, if they were just like 1% smarter than us, we would come across like apes to them. Like that's how smart they would
Mhm.
think we were. So anyway, I thought that was interesting.
Ingrid, have you read Dark Matter?
I have not. Do you
You
think I
might
would
want to
like
check
it?
that out. I don't know if you would like it, but you might.
Okay.
Is that the Blake
I've
Crouch
heard of
one?
it, but I never picked it up.
Blake Crouch.
Blake Crouch.
I still need to read something by him.
That's
I don't think
I
you'll
read
like it.
the, is it Pine series? Is that
He
Blake
does
Crouch
write
too?
that, yeah. Or he did. Write that.
I have the first one of the Pine series. I haven't read it yet. It's just collecting.
Christy, I
dust.
forgot you didn't like Dark Matter. One of the ones we don't agree on.
We actually don't agree on a lot of books, I feel like.
Really? I don't keep track.
Robin Hobb unites the both of you.
Mhm.
That's true.
Very true.
And Sanderson, I guess.
Hey, Ted Chiang. I read Ted Chiang. Shout out.
Yeah, what was the name of the one you read?
Exhalation.
The one that's really famous.
It's newer.
Well, the one that Arrival's based on. Whatever that
Oh,
collection is.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Stories of Our Life. Who said that's a great movie?
Ingrid did, and I laughed.
Yeah.
I don't like that
That's
movie.
the correct opinion.
You didn't like it? I liked it.
No.
She's like, no. I liked it. Did
Well,
you guys
I am,
watch?
like-
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, Ingrid.
I forget what's the other sci-fi movie with is it Gravity? Is that the one that I'm thinking of? I don't know.
Good one.
Forget what I said.
Interstellar?
Interstellar. Yeah, my dad is obsessed with that movie. We've watched it together like literally like 6 times. I go there sometimes and he just has that movie on, and it's like a 3-hour movie. And my mom's like, and then he's like, every time I watch it, I find something new. And then my mom's like, he doesn't get sick of the movie.
It
But
does
yeah,
have great
I really
music.
it does. It's a good movie.
That's how I was for the movie Cloud Atlas. That's my favorite movie
I still
ever.
need to read Cloud Atlas /
I haven't read it actually, but I've watched the movie many times. I'm not really someone who rewatches things, but I've rewatched that one many times.
Okay.
I'm very picky with movies because
Mhm.
my thought process is if you're going to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on something that is just like kind of entertaining, then I'm like, that was a waste of money. That's my thought, because
But
books,
not everything costs millions and millions. And
I know,
millions
but
of
most
dollars.
movies cost millions of
Yes.
dollars. You know what I mean?
True.
So for me, I understand to make a movie really good, you often do have to have a high budget, but I don't know, like, not trying to hate on all of Marvel, but I feel like the new Marvel stuff that's come out, I'm just like, none of this looks good anymore. So
Yeah.
that
They're all
kind of
very
stuff.
samey. It's like the same story told over and over
Yeah.
again, just like packaged a little bit differently. I'm still entertained by them because I feel like I'm
Yeah.
like the lowest common denominator when it comes to like that kind of media. But like, I definitely agree. Like,
I
they
could probably
spend way
watch
too
La
much
La
money.
Land all over again.
He likes that
I
movie a
can
lot.
watch La La Land. It's good.
I'm much more willing to watch a mediocre movie than like read something that I think I won't like, or like, we were talking about like you're picky. I'm like pickier about books than I am movies because of the time investment. Like it takes
Mhm.
way longer to read a book. Like, sure, if I waste 2 hours of my life watching a movie I didn't like, it's 2 hours versus like 15 hours of a book. I wouldn't go 15 hours of a book I didn't
Right.
like, but in theory.
So for like a personal, I totally agree with that, because movies, you often, depends on the movie, because some are quite I don't want to say challenging, but some kind of are demanding of your attention, and
Mhm.
like Ingrid's dad, there's like a new thing to discover every time you watch it. But I think it's like what you said about books are more of an investment. I'm less mad at the book if it wasted my time, because at least it didn't waste millions of dollars,
Yeah.
Because with movies, I'm like,
I don't know, Elle. My time is worth millions of dollars. Okay.
That's the thing is with movies, when I'm like, can you have just given me the millions of dollars that you spent on this movie, or like given it to the poor and needy instead of making
Instead, you
it?
have to pay to experience it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I can see what you're saying.
I had that conversation
But
with
I-
Roger because he was like, you're very picky. And I'm like, I know.
So, like, what's one of your favorite movies?
Shrek 2.
That's not necessarily true. That's a weird inside joke with our friends, because they know I'm picky, because they're kind of, one of our friends is very much a movie guy. And
Mhm.
he was trying to figure out a movie that I liked. And so the running joke is I don't like any movies but Shrek 2. But that's not true. I mean, it is entertaining. But
It is entertaining.
I mean, I just watched Grave of the Fireflies, but that's probably one of the most depressing things I've ever seen. And I thought that was great. I don't know, off the top of my head, what is a movie I think is really good?
You like Gladiator, and you like Cinderella Man.
Cinderella Man. That's one. Cinderella
Okay.
Man is a great movie.
I've
Mhm.
never seen it.
I haven't heard
Oh, it's so
Is
good.
it a rom-com? It sounds like a rom-com.
It's definitely not a
No.
rom.
It's,
Not a rom-com. See, I haven't seen it.
about the Depression and a man who's trying to provide for his family, his like small children and wife during the Depression.
So you like sad stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I
he didn't like
actually
Arrival.
here's the thing. Actually, I want to
Don't
clarify. I actually feel like rom-coms I'm more likely to enjoy because I think that some movies are a little they're not as good as they think they are. Does that make sense? Like I think some movies are pretentious and I'm like this wasn't
Oh,
this wasn't
and that
like,
reminds me of that Family Guy scene where what's his name, Peter, is like, that movie insists on itself. And it's like, what does that even mean? Like, it insists on itself. Like, is that the kind of sentiment you're going for?
I think so. That sounds about right.
He was talking about Inception, I think.
Oh, I hate that movie. I hate it with a passion. Like, it's just the stupidest thing. It's like, oh, it's in a dream, in a dream, in a dream. Like, yeah, I agree. That one is
You're
like
you're
not.
pro Interstellar, anti Inception.
Yes.
Oh, The
I'm
Godfather.
so
Sorry,
interested.
my
Christopher
bad. Yes.
Nolan is.
Out.
Yes.
Yeah, it was The Godfather.
Yeah, I just
I don't
think
know why I
it's
thought
like
Inception.
that one tries too hard and it doesn't. I just didn't like it.
Did you watch
But
Oppenheimer?
I will say I don't like time stuff. Like,
Oh.
not even in books, like in movies. Like, you know, when you watch something and it like either time repeats or it's like a time travel, I'm really just not into it. I don't know why.
No, I feel
So,
pretty similar.
But time is a
Jay,
big
do you
deal
still
in
want to
Interstellar,
do you
too,
still
though.
want to recommend Dark Matter to Ingrid?
I was just thinking that, like, oh, maybe I should take that back. But it's not exactly. I don't think I would recommend his other book, but maybe Dark Matter is still okay.
I find I think starting to say this that some like rom-coms or movies that are they seem like they cost a lot less money and they're a little it's weird because I don't like books like that necessarily. The more like intimate family drama. What's that movie with Kumail Nanjiani?
Big Sick.
The Big Sick, where his wife, there's something wrong and they can't figure out what's going on. And it's sort of a weird hybrid of a drama and a comedy.
That's a good
And
movie.
I liked that quite a bit. I thought that was good. I don't know. Movies,
You have to watch Whiplash. Whiplash was great.
I don't want to watch that movie.
Whiplash was great. I had my doubts.
I
Loved it.
love like all sci-fi movies pretty much. I have pretty low standards. Things that other people think are stupid, I think are fun.
I enjoy dumb comedies.
See, I don't like watching rom-coms or dumb comedies. Like, I don't know. I need more action and fighting and space. And
Oh, you know what though? I do like some Jackie Chan movies.
Oh, Jackie Chan movies are great. Rush Hour, oh, my
Rush Hour is
childhood.
good.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
And I used to watch with my dad Jackie Chan movies and Jet Li movies. So I remember when the Wheel of Time first season came out and everybody was losing it for that one fight scene opening.
Mhm.
And I was kind of like, I didn't think it was very good. And a lot of people got really mad. And I was
Bummer.
like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, not
I
to
think
be
part of the
critical.
like awesomeness of that scene is also like who it is if you know like the story. But whatever.
I mean, I knew who it was.
yeah, I know. I'm not talking about you, but other people.
I
I
know.
was unimpressed
Yeah.
But
by the fight scene.
people got mad. And they were like
Yeah.
arguing. And I'm like, I mean, I'm happy
It's
that
not
you
that
liked it.
serious.
I didn't like it. Yeah. But
I have an actual book related question for you guys. It's all right.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say one more thing about the? I didn't mean to
No.
interrupt you.
nothing important.
Have any of you guys tried the whole like remote control page turner thing for your Kindle? I love it.
I've heard it's really
Ooh.
great.
Yeah, I was pretty skeptical when I saw it online because I know it was like on TikTok and stuff. And I was like, really? Does that gonna really work, or does it really improve my life? It does. So like I have a stand by my bed that I use at night that will like hold my Kindle above me. Right now I'm just using like a normal like cell phone holder. I'm gonna set my Kindle in it. Oh, this is terrible. Like this, and set it on my desk. And I'm gonna sit here, listen to my audiobook, and just click this little remote control button to turn pages, and it's amazing.
I've heard
That's pretty amazing.
people say that it's like it's kind of ultimate laziness, but that it's worth it.
Yes.
They feel a little bad using it, but that they love it.
I mean, I even have a Kindle that has buttons, but I don't want to pick up my finger and put it on the Kindle. I just use this. It's awesome.
It's one of those products that's really hard to sell without sounding ridiculous. It's like those beds that sit up, you know, where you're like,
And once you have it, you can't go back.
Really quick, in the chat. So we saw The Creator, and we really actually wanted to see that in theaters. There was no one else in the theater, which was kind of nice. That movie visually was incredible. The visuals were phenomenal, and somehow the guy that did it didn't spend hardly anything. I don't
Went under
understand.
budget. See,
I don't
you like that.
understand.
Money.
I know.
Oh, I
I know,
watched that.
It visually was incredible
I've seen it.
regardless. The writing is like a little cliche for sure, but the acting, the little girl acting, like especially toward the end of the movie, you're like, no, because she really did a good job. But yeah, it's kind of not breaking any ground with sci-fi necessarily, but it was like, for me, like, oh, okay, this is a good sci-fi movie. The visuals is the main reason why. Married to a Movie Guy, your favorite movies are either dumb or pretentious, not much in between. Has anyone seen the Sasquatch Gang? That's peak dumb. Sean watched it with me, and he's like, I understand now why you find this movie funny. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It has what's his name? Justin Long in it. If anybody,
He always does like dumb stuff, I feel like.
So dumb. Christy, if you like dumb movies, you have to watch this movie.
My
You edited
taste in
out the
movies
whiplash stuff.
is stuff like Jurassic Park, Resident Evil.
Love
And, like my
Resident
partner
Evil.
likes to joke that I have the taste of a 12-year-old boy when it comes to movies. So it's like loud action, some horror.
Some like grotesque violence. I don't know, Sarah, if you said that in relation to this conversation or if it just worked out that you were watching movies. Oh, there you go, Jade.
Mm-hmm.
Worth it.
Life changing.
A guy with a cat, his comfy bed to hold his phone over his head. I mean, audiobooks, like in a weird way, I feel like if I'm just sitting reading a book, I weirdly get anxious. So I kind of like audiobooks because then I don't know.
Even when you're immersion reading, you get anxious.
No, not well, immersion reading has the audiobook. So there's
I
that.
Okay, I misunderstood what you were saying. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, but I worded it weird, so you're fine. The story was, it was not the most original, but definitely very pretty. The plot is messy. Jurassic Park. I mean, I like the original Jurassic Park. I feel like
I love, like, the dumber they are, the better. Like,
Do you like Jurassic World?
I did like Jurassic World.
Okay.
I know
like
the story is not great, but I like the dinosaurs. Okay.
Sean thinks that the new Jurassic movies are absolute trash.
They are,
But
but
then
they're my trash.
But then it became a joke in that same friend group that Sean loves Jurassic Park, which is why we ended up having a dinosaur themed birthday party for Sean.
Oh yeah.
And
Didn't I just like message them the entire time I watched Jurassic World?
That's
the second
right.
one. I just was like,
he gave
pretty
like
much, I hate every
commentary.
single moment of this movie.
I should
Um,
have worn my
His
Jurassic
2-year-old
Park
birthday
hoodie for
party
this.
was a dinosaur themed party. You guys should be friends.
We have I kind of stole it, but our friends got him a t-shirt that says Clever Birthday Girl instead of just Clever Girl because of that quote from the one.
Oh yeah, I
It's
remember.
got the like raptor on it.
I think like I remember like you talking about this on like a World Hoppers
Something or other.
video before. I remember the cover girl one.
Yes. So but I stole it because it's like the most comfortable t-shirt. New dystopian film.
You
Oh,
need to watch that. That sounds really
Utopia.
good.
Korea's been like pumping out like all the amazing films and dramas lately.
I feel like they've always had that, but it just wasn't like
Yeah, it's definitely
advertised
more
across the
prominent
world,
now.
accessible across the world.
I feel
Could be
like
after-
people saw Parasite and then they're like, wait, what?
Americans were like,
Discovered
other
Korea.
people make films?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Especially like horror kind of stuff. They do a lot of really good horror. I mean, the
Train
Japanese
to Busan.
like the industry, I think, is known for doing good horror too.
what
They
was
do
the
a lot
one
of
you-
zombie stuff.
What was the one you
I
watched?
love
Sean?
Korean zombies.
Shot really
Any
beautifully.
Korean zombies, I watch them all.
That was Korean?
Was it Korean? The detective one?
Yeah. I'm not gonna remember what it's gonna call.
Also, no, I have not seen
It was pretty good though.
the Swedish version. We'll be reading here in just a sec because we've been chatting for a half hour.
It's gonna bother me.
About
Um,
movies.
Oh,
Oh, Decision to Leave. That's what
Decision
it
to
was.
Leave.
Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Cure.
I do not love Jurassic World. Lies.
Hot take.
You just need to give it
I
another
agree
chance.
with it. I think Jurassic Park 3 is better than 2. I agree with that.
Dinosaur themed birthday party. So I got him a keychain with a pink dinosaur. I bought him like a plushie type. It's really cute. It's a Stegosaurus. What did our friends get you? We got cookie cutter, like you know how people get stuff for
That is so cute.
Christmas. I got that, but they were dinosaur shaped.
Did you have Dino Nuggets?
Oh, we should have.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
What else did we have? We had other dinosaur themed things.
Have you seen those cushions that are in the shape of the Dino Nuggets, except they're like this size? They look so cute, and they actually they look real.
I don't think I don't think I've
I
seen
have
it.
not
We'll have
seen those.
to. Well, while we're actually reading, I'll have to get the dinosaur stuffed animal so you can see it. Oh yeah, Past Lives. There you go.
I haven't watched it yet. I have it.
No, I know. I just mean, yeah, Sean checked that one out from the library. Let's see.
Old boy.
All Korean and Japanese horror is terrifying to me. Whoops, I skipped. Oh, how interesting. Oh, I recommend.
Yeah, The Wailing's pretty good. I've seen it.
Wailing.
That just sounds terrifying already.
If you like
Mhm.
Korean zombies, watch The Kingdom. It's Korean zombies, but historical and it's
Historical.
Oh,
Korean
I've seen that.
Oh.
It's a show, right?
yeah,
am I-
and there's like all this political intrigue and stuff. Because yeah, it's really good.
That
Where
does
is that?
It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is or not.
Netflix?
nice. Okay, reading time.
We should read.
Let's read.
Okay, so 4 of us will be reading Addie LaRue. Sean will be reading his sad
Directorate S.
Director S nonfiction. Let me get is 45 minutes good for the 3 of you?
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize to anybody now for missing your comment that you might leave in a second, but I just don't want to not actually read. So let me get the
Mhm.
screen.
Yes, Train to Busan is a very good zombie movie, Sarah. I agree.
Okay. We will return in 45 minutes.
Happy reading.
Yay, happy reading. Hello.
Hello.
Don't worry, Jade. I fixed the timer somewhat. Luna's here. Here she is.
Luna.
There.
Hi. I have to go to the bathroom. So I hope my mom finishes reading soon. I think that's what she's telling us. So
That
we'll have
sounds
to
good.
figure out pretty soon. She looks small right there, but she's not. She's quite large. How is everybody's reading?
Good. I like it so far.
Yeah.
I am 8% in.
8%. I am, according to my audiobook, 16% in.
Okay.
Oh my god, that. Oh wait. Did you just start, or did you start
Yeah.
earlier?
No, I just started.
And you're already
You're
6%.
spring?
Oh my god.
How fast
was-
are you reading that?
I was immersion reading, so I'm always
well,
able to
so
get
was
through it.
I.
Me too.
Ingrid, did you get to about where you were before?
Yeah, I got past it. 14% in.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
10%.
Do you think you're liking it more this time?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do this a
Okay.
lot where like I'm having an existential DNF crisis where like a lot of books that I put down and I pick up again, I end up liking. So I'm like, am I DNFing books that I would actually like eventually?
That's
Because
interesting.
I did the same thing with City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, and then I read it and it's like one of my favorite series.
You know,
So
I wonder if I'm going to feel that way too, because I read City of Brass and then I picked up the second one and kind of immediately stopped because of the time skip.
yeah.
And I really want to go back and reread them. And I wonder if a similar thing will happen where I'll end up really, really liking the series. Christy, you just finished that series, right?
Yes. Actually, when I first read City of Brass, I didn't really like the first book. But
Mhm.
then years later, I reread it for some reason, loved it,
What the
loved the
heck?
second book, loved the third one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the first one you do enjoy a little bit more on reread because you're a little bit more familiar with the world.
Yeah.
Because at first the politics are so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on in that one. Cliffhanger and Before They Are Hanged.
Ooh.
Mhm. My favorite in the original trilogy. I loved that second book. Also, are you listening to the audiobook? Because Stephen Pacey is amazing.
Amazing. What do you guys think about Julia Wayland? She's one of my favorite narrators. She narrates this book.
I'm loving her voice. Oh my god, okay, are we allowed to talk about like the book a little bit now?
Yeah, we'll try to refrain from. I don't think any of us have gotten to major spoilers. I think
Spoilers.
the
Yeah,
part
we're just pretty early.
establishing the plot, the synopsis. So, also, Sean, how is your reading? First, we'll say how is
First.
Sean's reading since he. Good. Okay.
Great.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, Christy, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say when she did the the other person's voice. I don't know how much I can say. The whatever
The
she's
shadowy
portraying to.
figure.
Yeah. I was like, oh my.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, she's talented.
I'm kind of into this.
That was one of the reasons when I couldn't get it from the library, the audiobook, when I can get it from the library for tonight's sprint, I was like, I'll just buy it. Julia Wayland, like, I'm gonna buy that. I
It
love
is-
her.
I mean, I don't know French, so I don't know if it's like perfect French, but it sounds
Right.
really good when she does
Yeah.
the French stuff. What do you think of just the book so far? It's so depressing. It's just like relentlessly sad.
It really is. And I think that's probably why I put it down last time because I was like, I don't know. I just hadn't gotten to a point that I was like caring about the sadness, but it was just like sad just for the sake of being sad. I'm like, this is depressing. I don't want to read it.
Yeah. I think there will be some hope though.
Yeah.
I perked up at relentlessly sad. I was like, huh?
I mean, you like B. Schwab's writing too. I liked The Will of the Many initially, and then I don't feel like it capitalized on its really cool setup in that first book. hopefully sequels. But
Trying to form their own thoughts first.
I'm sorry. I was just
What are you
saying. I
doing?
was just saying what my thoughts were.
What
I
are you
didn't.
doing? Don't put other thoughts out there.
I'm sorry.
It's kind of her job.
I guess I didn't have to right at this moment, though.
Right this moment, I know. I'm teasing.
Sean's just also being a troll, but yeah, I'm liking the book a lot so far.
Good.
I was nervous at first because it was in present tense, and that's not always my favorite tense. But I feel like it's really
I've never
worked. I
noticed
don't know.
things like that. And
Sometimes
Christy's always the one who notices like perspective and tense, and I'm like, what?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I guess
picky
that's true.
about that, but I feel like it works really well on the audio, and I like how sad it is, and it's already like hitting me in the feels. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I was nervous in the beginning because like V.E. Schwab has been like hit or miss. I really like Vicious and Archived, but I really didn't like A Darker Shade of Magic. So I just felt like her newer things haven't really been for me, but this book is hitting.
I'm really liking it too. I mean, I noticed the tense thing just because it starts with a girl is running for her life. That's just such an interesting
Yeah, that is kind of a
first
weird
sentence.
opener.
And I feel like those sorts of the third person present tense always gives this weird feeling of someone is telling you the story. But I don't know why, as the stories progressed, I feel really connected to Addie LaRue. You know what I mean? Like you feel for her so much. I do anyway. I don't know.
I do love the way that she kind of uses metaphors and goes into them and ties it together with the person's feelings and the story so well. Like the tree analogy, I was like, ooh, that's good writing.
Yes. And I don't know if you've gotten to the part where someone sees her and they're holding an axe and she thinks something like they would cut her down as if she were a tree or whatever. And I thought the same thing. I love her writing.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, if it's because her writing almost it doesn't feel like the typical fantasy style, because I think there's a certain way in which a lot of fantasy books are written and hers feel separate from that, which isn't to say other fantasy books aren't written well. It's just every time I come back to her books, there's just that distinct voice that she has that I really like. I'll have fun. Very nice.
Style is one that like I feel like I've seen some other authors like maybe kind of want to try to have that kind of style, but then it comes off a little bit like they're trying a little too hard. But with hers, I feel like it flows a little bit more seamless, like not a little bit, much more seamlessly.
It's interesting because I think some authors have a similar like the writing is almost nonsensical, but V.E. Schwab's always feels sort of grounded, where I actually feel like the metaphors make sense.
They actually make sense. Like she's not just weaving imagery for the sake of it. Like it has a purpose.
Some
writers reminds me of Laini Taylor too. Like she has really like this isn't so flowery, but she has like really flowery language that can be very metaphorical, but it never seems like over the top and like makes sense. I don't know. It does remind me a little bit of that.
Yeah, Laini Taylor's is almost more colorful, like vivid, whereas V.E. Schwab's is like muted and but they're a similar.
Will feel grounded,
like a tree.
Coming full circle.
And then you have like Stephanie Garber, which is just like pure nonsense analogies, and I did this and so many like Luna hairs just flew up because I was laying on the ground with her while reading.
Oh, that's where you were.
Yeah.
I was wondering
the amount of times I'm filming and I'm doing this and I just see a tiny little hair. I'm like, I can't tell if the camera, you probably can see it. And sometimes when I go to edit, I'll be like, oh gosh darn it, because it'll like take its time floating down.
Wait, really? You can actually see it? I don't think I've ever noticed.
Oh, really? I mean, yeah, it's It's just inevitable. Especially with her shedding right now. Let's see. I don't know why people don't like present tense. Tastes are different, of course, but it's very immersive. Sort of like watching a movie TV. Yeah, I think for a long time it was recommended that people write in present tense because of the immersive factor. But I think third person present tense. Well, I don't know. Present tense I'm trying to pinpoint what it is about it. I think it's just because it's so demanding. Like everything is happening right this second. If that makes sense. That probably doesn't make sense.
If it's a third person, I feel like that makes more sense and I'm into that more. But if it's like first person, it just always feels like kind of wonky to me because it's like me saying, I go to the store. It's like I'm narrating my own life and I'm like, who's listening?
That's what I don't like about second person. When it's like telling you what you're doing, but you're like, it's not me though. Which I know is dumb.
But there's always a reason. And you
Or at
have
least
to
there
keep
should be.
reading to find out the reason.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember
definitely
the last present tense third person that I had picked up.
See, I don't even notice things like that. So I
Yeah,
can't tell you the
me
last
neither.
one I picked up. Maybe I should, but I don't remember.
I know, right?
Do you have a preference, Ingrid, of tenses?
No, I really don't. I really don't. The only like time I will ever notice is when I read what's that fantasy with the second person that's really famous
This
by
season?
Broken Earth, yeah.
N.K. Jemisin.
Yes. That was the only time I noticed because it's like so obvious that my brain's like, oh, this is different, you know?
Right.
And I enjoyed it. I
but-
thought it was really well done.
Elle, you read Gideon, or you haven't read Gideon yet. You wanted to read Gideon.
Yeah.
And then you know that
Interesting.
the second book, Harrow, there's a part that's in second.
I've heard.
I know that.
I'm a little nervous because the spear cuts through water. I've seen a lot of people really like it, but I've heard that it also uses second person, and I'm just like, jeez.
I always find it really interesting, like what the author is doing with it, because they don't just like randomly use second tense for no reason. There's always like a meaning that you find out like as you keep reading.
Yeah, but that it's like weirdly almost a spoiler. Like it's not, but it's kind of how some people really don't like being told there's a twist in a book because they're like, oh, well, now I know to look out for a twist, which I don't necessarily think that is a spoiler, but I understand what people are getting at when they say that. And weirdly, second person can feel that way because I'm like waiting for the big aha of like why, like you were just saying. But then if there never is that moment, then I'm like, then why are we in second person? So I'm just weird about it. What do you think, Sean? Do you like second person?
I don't mind it.
It's weird. It's weird, so Sean doesn't mind or likes it.
I never noticed tenses until I saw you talking about them, and now I can't stop. So thanks.
It is my mission to ruin first person present tense for everybody.
For
Oh
everyone.
my god.
Second tense, like, I guess if it serves a purpose, I'm down. But I also don't really care. Like, it doesn't bother me if it says you do this. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I guess I'll do it. I think in general I prefer past tense, but I don't always notice when it's in present. And I also
Yeah, I
prefer
guess I feel
third
similar.
person over first, but
It is odd if I've been reading a lot of books in first person, but also present tense. If I've been reading it a lot and then I sit down to write, because currently the series I'm writing is not present tense, then I'm like, how do I write again? It's like a weird, I have to flip the switch because I've gotten accustomed to hearing it that way. And then it sounds wrong for a little bit because I'm like, wait, and it just is a weird experience, I suppose. This was super fun. I don't know. I mean, I tend to read things in a very short amount of time, but do you want to wait? And then I don't know when we would gather again. Does this time tend to work well for you three as far as doing sprints?
For
Yeah.
the most part, yeah.
Yeah. We can reconvene or something and then talk about the book some more. Or maybe do a chat when we're all finished with it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
I have so many things I want to fangirl over already.
What is your edition? Or is that a notebook? Oh, it's a notebook.
It's a. Oh, this is my Kindle. My Kindle.
It's so cute.
It's a. Yeah, it's just the cover.
It looks so
Oh,
pretty.
is it
We need to
white?
get the remote thing.
Like being stuck in another person's head, so I need to I wonder how because like there's been studies that some people do tend to be more empathetic than others. I wonder if that affects how they perceive first person versus third person. That would be an interesting thing to look. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody would study that.
I love the Farseer trilogy, and that entire thing is told in first person. So,
But past
I
it.
don't know.
I just can't stand Fitz.
I love him. He's
don't know
my
why-
son.
I don't know why anyone likes him.
I love him too. Hard to say for him.
It's okay, Christy. You messaged me about Cal. I hadn't gotten to the thing that you said you don't like
Oh.
Kaladin. So you outed yourself there. I had no idea. That was what I woke up to. If you being like, I don't like Kaladin.
And I saw like it was red. And I was
Red.
like,
I know
oh.
that always feels so passive aggressive when messages are left on red and there's no reply. Oh, you're welcome. We have to hop off here now too because we need to take Luna Bear out. Because she
Yeah.
refuses to go to the bathroom in our own yard unless she absolutely has to. But she'll hold it for as long as she can so that she can go at the park. So we're gonna go take her to
Just an
the park.
excuse to go to the park.
I think that's really. I don't know. She's kind of snooty when it comes to going to the bathroom for a dog. I feel like most dogs don't care that much, but
Yeah.
she cares. But anyway, this is lots of fun. Thanks so much for joining.
Yeah.
And
that's-
everybody who hung out and read with us or just hung out in general, that was a lot of fun. Authors write the chapter from a specific character's point of view. Yeah. I like that too. But anyway, thanks so much. We'll have another sprint probably in 2 weeks. And next week, the plan is to do a catch-up session with Jade and probably Jessie, May, and maybe Leanna might join us too if she is off work in time. So that'll be a lot of fun because Jade's had a lot of stuff transpire
a lot
in
of
her
news
life.
to catch you up on.
Yeah.
That sounds more interesting than it really is. It's not that interesting.
But thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.